不需要，谢谢。Alright, so what is going down to the YouTube right now? I hope that these sick-ass waterfalls and fountains behind me aren't too loud on this video. This is kind of weird because the people inside the Airbnb are kind of staring at me because I'm looking right at them through this glass, but it's whatever. I'm in Taiwan right now, and because of that, and I'm all the way halfway around the world, thousands of miles away, I feel comfortable sharing this story. Alright, yeah. Managers. So, basically, this is one of my sketchier ass stories. Definitely one that I very, very do not condone that you do, but I'll kind of get into it. I learned some life lessons along the way. But this is the story of when I had lean. Yeah, definitely not one of my proudest moments, but it was an entire slippery slope of bad decisions, and not just that one, so I'll jump right into it. How this all started, and this is gonna be real, just jumping right into it, was, oh my god, okay, these people are coming to walk, talking to me. Alright, what's going down? It's all on. Alright, I really like this spot, but it's too weird. People keep looking at me. I'm gonna move a little bit here. But I am thousands of miles away from the US, and the next time that I enter the US, I'll be 18. Basically, I'm not too worried about sharing it though. So, how this all started was with selling drugs on the from the internet. And I could have made a whole standalone video with this, but I don't want to get too much into it. Basically, the darknet is the best thing in the entire fucking world, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. And when I first stumbled across it, I had the same thought that I'm sure a lot of you guys have had before too, which is like, oh my god, there's just so many cheap drugs that you can get shipped right to your house. Why don't I just get a bunch of this and sell it? And basically, it didn't end very well for me all the way at the end, but that's how it started. So I partnered up with my best buddy at the time. He was the person that sold to me my first time ever, and I really, really fucking trusted this guy because it was kind of a weird thing. Like, I knew all these business people and CEOs who should have been, I don't know, in my mind, the best people I would have ever met, but like, in reality, a lot of them were just kind of like, not scummy, but they weren't even like that great. And when it came to this dude, he was just like a 15-year-old, and he was the person that sold to us the first time ever. And when that happened, he actually smoked us up, and like, that's amazing. Like, I had such a great night, and I just remember thinking, it's really weird that I know all these people that are like professionals and stuff, but the nicest person I've ever met was just like my dealer that hooked me up. So that was kind of interesting. But people back behind me right here. Not sure if I want to talk about this story with people right behind me. Basically, a lot of these stories though, when I'm telling them, I've already like thought about it a lot or talked about it a lot. So it's like there's a flow to it. But this is so weird, like I really haven't thought about this story because in my head I wouldn't be able to share it. But long story short, it didn't end up very well because like 2 months in to this agreement, these fucking cops, oh wait, okay, wait. No, God, wait. How did this go? So long story short, I get drugs from the internet, mainly because at the moment, the only thing that I had tried at the time was bud, and I'm like, I want to try all the other stuff, which, I don't know, I think it's a lesson that can be learned the hard way, but just let me tell you, that's definitely not the conclusion from it, because I remember thinking that, you know, like, wait, there's so many things out there, I just gotta try them. I'm glad I got through that phase, because now all I want to do ever is just bud, but I think that's only because I did actually go through and experience all this stuff and realize like, oh shit, bud is actually the best. But so we had like everything. We had like ketamine, Xanax, acid, liquid shrooms, bud. But I only had him like sell bud and acid, I think, and it wasn't even too bad. Like we just hang out, smoke up. I'd give him like an O, and I'd be like, "Yo, give me like $200 for it or something." And actually, looking through this, I don't have any guilt on this. I'm not condoning that anybody does do this, but just speaking from like my brother's friends, he knows this girl that interned at fucking NASA that just sells tons and tons of lean. I mean, like, there's people it's just like, it's not even that weird of a thing. Like, people are doing it all to get by and stuff, and I believed in it, you know. It's bud. The prices around here were like $20 a gram. I'm like, fuck that. Like, buying from my guy, I was pissed off at the prices too. So when I just get like a pound, I tell him to just do like 10 a G or something, and that was actually like a really, really low price at the time. So I don't feel bad about this, by the way. Like, I feel like we actually helped out Fargo in a way, because every single time that he would like sell something, he would just stick it on a Snapchat story, like, hit me up, $10 a G, and like, the people were so fucking grateful. They hadn't gotten anything that cheap before. So there's definitely a little bit of interesting, conflicting, like, stuff going here. And basically, the reason why I wouldn't condone doing this isn't because of any moral reason, it's because of the police. Because, you know, maybe selling stuff is criminal, but nothing compared to what the police are doing. So okay, that's kind of a good segue into this story. I think that's enough of the precursor about the selling part. Now I'll get into my lean story. So I'm hanging out with my bro, and actually, he kept asking if I could get him lean from the darknet, and I actually couldn't find it. Like, I was only using a couple markets, but he ended up getting some promethazine from a buddy, and I didn't really approve. I'm like, dude, that's fucked up, but this is where slippery slopes come in. I never feel like I'm really peer pressured because I don't hang out with people that do, but this was a situation that it just kind of like happened. We were chilling, we go to this movie, it was Snowden, and we're like sitting in the parking lot and we smoke a blunt, and then he starts putting the promethazine into his like Powerade, and I'm like, ooh, got a mosquito. And I'm like, dude, that's kind of fucked up. That I don't know, like, if you should do that. Like, it's kind of gross. And he's like, no, bro, you should just try it. It's not bad, bro. You just gotta try it. And I don't know, like, one thing led to another, and I ended up just taking a few sips. It wasn't even that much. And then we go in to watch the movie. So at first it wasn't very bad. Like, it was a pretty entertaining movie and stuff. I was getting into it, and I think the weird thing though was that I was feeling cold. So it was like I was sitting in the movie theater, and it was as if like water was filling up to my elbow, or like my shoulder length, and it was like cold water, like in a pool, and it was just kind of feeling weird, like, what the fuck, I'm kind of cold. And then we go into the bathroom, and this was fucked up, because this is where the slippery slope comes in. I didn't want to do lean whatsoever, but I'm like, okay, I'll try some. And then we go to the bathroom, and he's like, bro, we should do some ketamine too while on it. And I'm like, alright, bro. And then I pull out my bag, and like, ketamine is definitely one that I do not condone either. I think I only did it a couple times at the point, and I still, in my head, was thinking like, I don't want to do this, but yeah, like, it was that slippery slope. So I pour out the line, just right in the bathroom of the movie theater, and then this is where things got really fucking weird. I pull out my phone, and I get a message from my mom that says the fucking police are at the door. They're probably monitoring your phone. Do not say anything. And that's what the message said. And I'm like, what the fuck? Because I had no like fear whatsoever. Like, I wasn't expecting that. That just came out the blue so hard. And this is the part where I'm like, you know, don't sell drugs. Not because of any moral reason, but because this shit is so terrifying and is not worth the anxiety. Like, when that happened, my whole body just flooded with anxiety, but I also forgot that I drank fucking lean, and it was my first time on it, and I didn't really know what, like, the normal effects of that were. So my entire body just goes dead cold, like so cold that my fingers go numb and like my lips go white and like my teeth are chattering and I'm going like this, because apparently what happened was, oh my god, the fucking West Fargo police. Fuck the West Fargo Police Department. Seriously, like, fuck the police in general, but fuck the West Fargo Police Department. Because apparently these dudes, like, just somehow found out that my buddy was selling, like, the guy that I was giving to. And it wasn't as if this dude was, like, moving huge quantities. Like, he's literally selling grams to, like, high school kids. So I don't know what tipped the police off and, like, how they found out about that. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. This story's bringing a lot back. So, back against the slippery slope thing. We weren't careful at all that summer. I don't care. I made a lot of great summer type memories. But basically, I would drive this piece of shit tin can, $500 Saturn. Like, we literally paid $500 for the stick shift car with 300,000 miles on it. I'm sure you could see in some of my videos, like Trippy V7, I think. And like, it was so loud because starting out, it sounded like a normal car, but I went off-roading with it, like on some stupid decisions, smoking joints, and then we just drive into this field. I mean, it was like actual road and stuff, but it was like, dirt road, and I was just like cranking away, like driving super fast on it. And then I don't know what happens to the transmission. It totally fucked it up because when we left the field, the car was like 30% louder. The car was like four times louder than it was before. It would be like you start it and it would wake up the entire neighborhood just for no reason. I don't know how that makes any sense, but anyways, that was the Stonemobile. Because the thing was, it was only the $500 car. So the floors were soaked with bong water, ash everywhere, Swisher guts, and I loved it. Because I would pick up my friends, and you know how teenagers are, like I couldn't pick them up in my nice SUV or my dad's car because it would just get fucking wrecked. So I'd pick them up in the Stonemobile, and we wouldn't give any fucks, like, so that was kind of a problem though, because my friend lived in a super white neighborhood, which I shouldn't even have to say that. My friend lived in Fargo. We lived in West Fargo, which was the even whiter part of Fargo, and fucking white people. Like, it's really ridiculous because I'm in Taiwan now and there's literally no white people. So looking back, these people are like so fucking ridiculous. But he lived in like a nice suburban neighborhood with the nice picket fences and the big houses. And literally just me dropping him off at his house in that tin can, people started calling the fucking cops after a suspicious vehicle. Like, I'm not even saying like we would park there and like sell to people. Like, I would literally drop the dude off at his house and people already called the cops on us because they were like suspicious as fuck. And like people took pictures of the car, and like this is where it started getting weird. So this is all backstory, right? Before the movie theater. These people had like a full police report about this shit. So there was a oh my god. Okay, so there's the West Fargo Police Department, right? They newly hired an entire narcotics department that summer. So it was really hilarious though, because I pop onto the like West Fargo Police Department website, and apparently the entire narcotics department was 2 fucking guys. So there's only 2 guys in the entire narcotics department, and the entire city had such low traffic that like the entire city, my friend was like their highest suspect. This 15-year-old kid that's like selling grams at a time, and they like had a full detailed report with pictures of my license plate. They had pictures of him getting out of the car into his house, and like I said, I just dropped the fucking kid off at his house, and like they were taking pictures of that shit. So who's the weird people now, right? Like that's the weirdest. My conclusions from the story are so weird because I feel like the whole police situation, they're like, you should feel bad about this. Never touch drugs again. You're a bad kid. But I'm like, who's the people that's like stalking us and taking pictures of us getting out of our cars, like these underage kids? Like, that's really fucking weird. Anyways, so while we were at the movie theater, they show up at my house and they show the report to my parents, which is like the fucking balls of these guys. Like, just like, hey, we saw your kid drop this other kid off. He's a fucking suspect. And like, it was really weird. And thank God that they showed up while we were at the movie theater, because I think we were literally smoking blunts in the car in my driveway right before we left. So like, if we stayed 5 minutes later or 10 minutes later, they would have rolled up and we would have been smoking a blunt right in the car. And like, my friend, you know, he played hooky that day, which would have looked bad for him. And I dropped out of school, which looks really bad for me. But yeah, so that's what happened while I was in the bathroom of the movie theater on lean, looking at this text message like, holy shit, bro, the cops are at the house showing me like these detailed reports that they're probably tracking your cell phone. Be careful. So I looked to my friend and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he didn't like believe it because it doesn't make sense. He's like, what the fuck do you mean the police are at your door, dude, with like pictures of us? That doesn't make sense. Are you like tripping hard? And I'm like, I don't know. So we just go back into the movie. But the problem was the movie was snowed in. So I had this like super high anxiety. We get back into the theater and our seats were at the way front, right in front of the screen. So the face, like the screen was just covering like the entire wall, right? And then there's this weird scene where the guy like walks right up to the screen as if it's a camera and he's like staring at us as if he like knows we're watching him. And like, it was just so weird because I was just like freaking out. And at this point, everything goes numb. Like my whole body starts to go numb as if it's -40 and I'm shivering in my chair, literally like teeth clacking, like, and I was literally like this watching this fucking Snowden movie. And then like, they keep talking about it. They're like, oh my God, the police can tap into your cell phones and I'm like, what the fuck? Because I realized that like, I was not careful at all. Like I was talking about all the selling stuff on like Snapchat, Facebook Messenger, and like texts. And like, it was really fucking weird because they just keep digging into it. We're watching Snowden and they keep talking about surveillance and the NSA and stuff. And I'm sitting there freaking out because the police very well may actually have been doing that to me at that time. And it was tripping me out. And that's, yeah, like I said, that's why it's not worth it to sell, because I do not want to experience that anxiety ever again in my life. Like, it wasn't just a little bit. It was like, what the fuck is gonna happen? Am I gonna get arrested? Am I just fucked? Can I not do Stoned Alone? Like, all this stuff. But yeah, how did that end? I mean, I think we walk out of the theater, I'm still freaking out. Like, we walk outside and it's warm and sunny, but my hands are still cold and shivering, and I'm just like, but yeah, I guess this is the lean story. So I can't think of anything else I feel about the lean. Just that weird cold feeling. And like, I did not like it. That opioid weird, like, I don't know. That's all I can think of to describe it. Like, I was just shivering and like so cold and like not pleasant. So yeah, and that's actually what led to my arrest. So I definitely was very dumb. I actually didn't talk to that friend for the longest time after that, which was a tragedy because he was a really fucking good friend. But because of the police situation, I'm like, I'm not getting fucking caught in those crossfires. So I didn't talk to him for months and months. And then finally one day I'm like, bro, it's been like too long. We gotta do like a reunion. I hang out with him and my other friend that I hadn't talked to for a long time. And that's the night that I was arrested. I hadn't seen those guys in fucking forever, and I shouldn't have risked this, but my friend's like, bro, just drop me off at my house, it'll be fine. I drop him off at his house, and it turns out that at 1 6:30 fucking a.m. in the middle of the night. These cops are like watching his house. And like I said, he's a 15-year-old kid, and like, do they not have anything better to do? He's just some 15-year-old kid. And they were parked outside of his house, like watching his door. Like, and that's how I got arrested, because I dropped him off and they were just like sitting there like, oh boy, we get to make an arrest. Like, fuck the police. Yeah. So moral of the story, basically take full responsibility. I mean, like, I wasn't like, oh, what the hell? Why is this happening? Like, if you're gonna sell drugs, fully expect this to happen. Like, I don't condone it. Don't do it. But if you're going to, don't be an idiot and like not expect this to happen, because like that's basically what will happen. So, you know, you can be very careful and like get away with a lot more or make it a lot longer, but just if you're going to do it whatsoever, I keep repeating this, but it's sometimes good to say something 3 times if it's very important. Like, for real, if you are going to sell drugs, which I do not condone you to do, but if you are going to do it, expect this to happen. Like, because that's a very likely outcome, is like police and fucking up your shit. So I guess that's my moral of the story. Because I know, like, I don't know, like, my community is pretty good, but I can see if a big weed tuber just posted a video talking about selling drugs, there'd be a lot of comments like, you're making a bad example. And I don't think I am, because like I said, my brother knows a NASA intern that sells drugs. A lot of people, like, yeah, I mean, fuck, the people I knew, these entrepreneurs, they had to sell drugs to get by too. It doesn't make you a bad person, but just, you know, the cops are bad people, and they're out there, and they're watching, so expect that. I've already said that a lot. I'm looping. I'm trying to think if there's anything else from the story that I haven't mentioned, but, you know, it was good as fuck to get that off my chest. I feel like this was an entertaining story, one that I would have wanted to watch if I, like, watched this channel, and I'm very glad to have been able to share it, because I wouldn't have shared this if I was back in Fargo. Like, I wouldn't doubt it if the police department would find my channel, because it was starting to get weird. Like, there's literally people in the fucking grocery store who are like, oh, you're that drug guy, and I'm like, oh shit, I probably shouldn't be known as that in Fargo. But yeah, if the West Fargo Police Department are watching, fuck y'all. Officer Nyman, you're a bitch. I don't know, I don't remember the other officer's name, but I can't believe it. This is literally the entire narcotics department is like 2 fucking guys, and they have nothing better to do. And oh my god, wow, there's a lot more to this story too. You know, this has dragged on long enough. So this was my lean story. I might share some other details about the whole selling thing and and how they took away my cell phone and stuff. I totally forgot about that, but I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thank you. And yeah, I think this was a sick filming location too. Like, this Airbnb is just like the nicest shit ever. And I'm gonna go back upstairs, get my breakfast. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this. It was definitely a good story to have, and some good times. But yeah, peace. Alright, also as a note to end on, I feel like I was about to get around to this, but don't do lean. It's a horrible idea. Like, it's not. Like, it's really promoted in rap right now, which is really annoying because it's very, very dumb. Like, it does not feel good whatsoever, and as a fucking opioid, like, there's no good return on investment here. Like, you can smoke pounds and pounds and pounds of bud, but like, a little bit of lean will fuck up your body way more than that will. So just don't, like even more than selling, like, drinking lean, I would promote way less than selling. Like, it's not a good idea. So yeah, just that's the note that I'm gonna end on.